What's the crack? What's the bleeding story? How yous all doing? Hope yous are well. Yeah, it's done. It's dusted. It's over. The hope is gone. The hope was gone in the first minute of the West Ham Man City game. Was there hope there for some people? No. But there was hope after the game. There was a lot of Arsenal fans still hoping, oh, well, maybe next year. I've been hearing that for the last 20 years. Maybe next year, maybe next year. When is it going to end? It's frustrating. It's how long do we go on like this? And it's the fan base as well. For me, I have to complain a lot, and I want to complain a lot this evening with the fan base. As I was watching the game yesterday, I see one Arsenal fan in the crowd with the half jersey. Now, Kyle, you'll understand the half jersey. Like, you know, in Gaelic football, you may have a Wexford jersey and a Dublin jersey or something like that. And that would be like, oh, my mom is from Dublin and I'm from Wexford. And, you know, that's the way it works. And in GAA, it's like, you know, you know where you're from, let's say. But yesterday, I seen an Arsenal fan with half an Arsenal jersey and the other half a West Ham jersey. And for me, that sums up about 80% of this fan base. Haven't a fucking clue what they're talking about. Going to a football match with half a fucking jersey. I thought half a scarf was embarrassing. You know what I mean? But to have half a fucking jersey and you're there standing there singing and dancing and kissing and hugging, it's fucking embarrassing, to say the least. The amount of the stick I've been getting with WhatsApp, fucking Instagram, Twitter, and all that, it's great. I don't mind it. Like, you know, I'm big enough and bold enough, and I can give it back. You know what I mean? But I have to agree with a lot of these fans, a lot of these Man United fans, Liverpool fans, City fans. You know what I mean? And it's Arsenal fans. This 80% that I'm talking about just keep on embarrassing ourselves. I'm not subscribed to AFTV, and I never will. I watched it yesterday. I wanted to watch one or two of the reaction videos. And now I know why I don't subscribe and why I don't watch the videos. It's fucking embarrassing. Ty, to me, is a fucking idiot. I seen him before at the Emirates. I had a chat with him. I recorded him and everything in the end. And I just says, do you know what? I'm actually not going to put that on my channel because he's a fucking embarrassment. And I fucking said it to him. I says, you're a fucking clown. And he goes, fuck you. I says, fuck you, you prick. You know what I mean? I was listening to him today, and his voice was hoarse. Like, he couldn't talk. They were actually slagging him.
All he was talking about is referees.
This is it. Yeah. This is exactly it. You know what I mean? And it's just, when do people wake up? You know what I mean? Progression. Last year, we bottled the league. This year, we still, I'm not saying bottled it, but we fucked it up. The manager fucked it up. The Fulham game at the very start of the season, the first few games was the 2-1, where they were down to 10 men, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Not starting Gabriel and Saliba. I know Gabriel's mind wasn't there because he was looking at going to Saudi Arabia or somewhere like that. His head was torn. But is it not the manager's job to get all that sorted, get the fucking bullshit out? And that happens in pre-season. And then just going, mate, I need you from the start of the season. Was it Nottingham Forest? Was the first game? I need you from day one. But no, we were pricking around. That Fulham game, who was playing right back? Yes, Thomas Partey was playing right fucking back. And this is where we're at. We spent how much in the summer, and we're starting with a right back, Thomas Partey. You know what I mean? This is the whole thing that people are forgetting about. All these ridiculous decisions. You know what I mean? When is it going to fucking stop? I'm sick of it. I'm fucking done with it. And other fans, I don't blame them. United fans, Liverpool fans, all these Chelsea, City fans. Arteta's doing a great job. This. I'm saying that about Ten Hag. I'm laughing at United fans. Ten Hag, great manager. Keep him going. I'm just saying that because I think he's a fucking dog shit. You know what I mean? But this is patronising me. Other fans are patronising me. That's what they're doing. Arteta's a great job. I cannot see us winning the league. I can't, and never mind going into cups and fucking everything that we've thrown away since this manager is started to manage us. The money he has spent, I'm sorry about it. We should be winning titles with the amount of money he has spent. There's no doubt about that. It's a fucking disgrace. And it's embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing. Luke, I'll bring you in, mate. I seen your reaction video today. Welcome back to the show. I've seen you in a while. What are you saying?
Look, for me, right, I think Mikel Arteta for me has gone and failed to win another league title once again. And people know my opinions on this manager, whether they've seen me before, but yet again, he's gone and failed to win another league trophy again. Like, for me, where do we go from here, from now into next season? Because, look, I can respect Mikel Arteta has done well, don't get me wrong. He's taken Arsenal into 2 league title challenges, right? We were top of the league for 247 consecutive days last year. Top 4 in the Europa League was the aim, but we overachieved that. But the thing is, we didn't get it over the line. And this season was our best chance to go on and win the league. But however, we still didn't get it over the line. But why is our fan base on social media believing that, oh, we should give this guy another opportunity again? Well, I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, right, for me, what is the expectations for next season? Because we scored all these amount of goals this season, but still didn't go on to win the league. And what we got to do, people talk about we need a striker. And then some people were saying, I was at the game yesterday and I was hearing people saying, and they were being delusional because they were saying that Kai Havertz, right? Don't get me wrong, Havertz has had a decent season. But however, Havertz isn't the main man to take you forward for next season. He's scored 13 goals in 37 appearances, which is decent, but it's still not enough, right? We need a big, tall, physical presence, Ian Wright, Thierry Henry striker that's going to get you goals consistently. And do you know what cost us this season? Not only the Aston Villa game, where he played Zinchenko at left back, right? Where I'm thinking, why are you playing Zinchenko? Play someone else at left back. Play Kiviwall at left back against Aston Villa. Why is Mikel Arteta, even the Fulham game? How on earth, right? This guy has spent, 600-700 million, and Arteta's won 1 trophy in 5 years. But people have the accountability to say that this manager can go on to win the league next season. Man City are getting rid of Kevin De Bruyne. Well, they're not getting rid of him, but they're going to get rid of him probably the following year. They've got 2 midfielder replacements. The West Ham midfielder, Paqueta, or the Newcastle midfielder. So they're going to be De Bruyne's replacements. City are going to get stronger and stronger, and Guardiola is not going anywhere until after next season. What does this manager have to do to beat Pep Guardiola? Can someone clarify and rectify and tell me? Because for me, look, I know he's taken us into a title challenge, and that's great. We've been crying out for a title. But why has he not got it over the line? Chelsea fans, there was an Arsenal fan yesterday, right? I saw it on Twitter, walking at Stamford Bridge yesterday. Chelsea fans were chanting and saying, Arsenal bottled it twice. You know why? Because the manager is the problem. Because for me, he has not got it over the line. And look, I never wanted Mikel Arteta in the first place. I wanted Carlo Ancelotti because he is an elite winner. He's at Real Madrid and he's won 36. Well, he hasn't won 36, but the club has won 36 titles. How many has Mikel Arteta won in his career? He's not won a single title, my friend. 1 FA Cup in 5 consecutive seasons. But he's not going anywhere. He ain't going anywhere. So we'd all got to back him next season again. And next season, if he does not get it right, he has to be sacked. And that's the problem. You can't give this manager 3 or 4 more years. The contract hasn't officially been made, but it's looking like it's going to be a 3-year contract and it's going to be signed till 2028. You can't keep, if he doesn't win anything next season, even if you win the FA Cup and finish second, he still has to be sacked. He's got to win me a league title next season. Get me a world-class striker. Get me Isak or someone who's... I don't want none of this Sporting Lisbon striker or Benjamin Sesko. Mate, they don't exist to me, right? Get me a Premier League proven striker that's already proven. Someone like an Isak. Someone's going to actually go toe-to-toe with Pep Guardiola. We may have got 4 points against Man City, right? But if Trossard would have buried that opportunity against Martinelli, we win the league title. And this is the problem with Arteta. The problem with Mikel Arteta is, right, is that the problem is he loses the games against people like Fulham. He changes all these positions. And that's something where it lets our fans down. But people are too scared of a change because people think the fan base over there at the stadium think that we're going to be like Man United and Chelsea. It's true, isn't it? Yo, boy, I think you're muted, mate.
Yeah, sorry. I was just saying, yeah, no, I get you, like 100%. It's so frustrating. And Kyle, I just wanted to sort of come to you with that. I'll start off with what Luke was saying there with the Kai Havertz thing. Like, we've spent 700 million and we have Kai Havertz leading the line, let's say. You know, for me, no. I know he had a good season and stuff. Like, not a good season, but what I'm talking about is if I had that service, I'd probably get the same amount of goals when I was a young fella and being fit the way he is fit. I'd get probably pretty much the same amount of goals. And he is on, was it 200 and something a week? You know what I mean? And Arsenal pay 65 million for him. So he's on a contract for, is a 4 years contract? Like, and this is where we're at. We're dependent on this man to bring us a league title. What are you saying?
But for me,
First of all,
Right.
someone has music or there's something on in the background, like a radio or a TV. Can you hear that?
then someone's got TV.
Gone.
That it? Yeah.
Gone. Then why? Let me say something to you about Havertz. Havertz is on £1,600 sterling an hour at Arsenal Football Club for the next 4 years. Matter of fact, it's £1,685 sterling an hour.
Okay.
That's how much Havertz is getting at Arsenal Football Club. Now, you're talking about winning a Premier League title. You're talking about Champions League title. You're talking about the elite titles. You do not have to be a scientist to figure out that we are not winning the Premier League or the cup competition, and definitely not the Champions League with Kai Havertz as our number 9. He's simply not fucking good enough. And the Arsenal fan base, with their weak mentality, are actually bigging up Havertz for the last number of months. As a matter of fact, it disgusts me to say that I have heard fans saying that he's every bit as good as Dennis Bergkamp.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
That is the fan base in a nutshell. It's absolutely fucking shocking. Now,
It's fucking laughable.
I'm going to say this because I need to say things to get things off my chest here. If I went into Arsenal Football Club tomorrow morning, I will call a meeting for the squad. And I will mention these names. And I don't give a fuck what any fan thinks of these names. Because I'm fucking telling you that we are winning nothing with these crowd of fucking beggars. Eddie Nketiah, Havertz,
Vieira,
Martinelli, Thomas Partey, Sandy, Tommy Asu, Ray in the goal. Saka needs to wake the fuck up. Jesus. Vieira. The list goes on. And what are we doing? We're giving out contracts to fucking Jorginho. It's embarrassing. There's a ESR out the fucking door with him as well. Reece Nelson. Simply not good enough to win us a league title. And what's best is to fucking prove it to us throughout the years. People are saying give ESR a chance. Give ESR an opportunity. ESR is at this club since he was 10 years of age. What has he done? What has he achieved? Sweet fuck all. Out the door. Then why? We are in bigger trouble than what we think. I've named out about 8 or 9 players there that needs to go. And then we have to replace them lads with pure quality, world-class players. The very same as Manchester City. They take off one world-class player, they bring on another world-class player. And that's what we have to achieve. But who in world class is going to come to Arsenal because they know that they're not going to achieve anything under this narcissistic fucking prick of a manager? We're going nowhere then, boy. People think that we're going to win the league title next season. I've got a newsflash. I have a newsflash for people. And I want people to hear what I'm saying. Because every time I come on Del Boy Show, I spit facts and everything I say comes fucking true. So I'm telling everybody here tonight, we will not even compete with Manchester City next season. Forget it. Man City will win the league by 10 to 15 points next season. There's nobody touching them. Jurgen Klopp is gone.
You think it'll be 10, 15 points?
Yeah, we're after peaking, Luca. We're after peaking, my friend. We're going downhill after this season. Trust me. People think that we're going to somehow win the league next season because we finished second and second. We're not fucking even finishing second next season. Yeah. I'm telling you that now. And I will be proved right. So then, boy, this is going to be a long summer. And what should be happening is we should be identifying our players as we speak and get them into the club and get the fucking useless pricks that we have out of the club so that we can have the players that we need for pre-season and get the job done starting off in August. But we won't do that. We fuck around onto the last fucking couple of hours of transfer deadline.
And we never sign anyone on deadline day. And this is the problem with this manager, right? And not just only the manager in general, but we never ever seem to sign the big stars on deadline day. And that's the problem. Like we always seem to fall short, and that's the problem. We've been doing this over for years. We've done it under Arsene Wenger. We've done it under Unai Emery. We've done it with previous managers over the years, right? And that's the problem with this manager. This manager, for me, why on earth does he get a 3-year contract? Right, it hasn't officially been done, but it's looking that way. He's going to get a new contract because if you watch his press conference the other day, it sounds like he's going to be getting another new deal. And for me, if he doesn't win anything next season, he doesn't deserve to be here for 3 years.
Luke, I just want to cut in on that because look, I want to say, like what you're saying, I agree with. But there's other people there as well. Like we're talking about the transfers, like of Arsenal, what they need to do and what they need to get.
Richard Garlick's going to be in charge next season.
Yeah, and that's what I was leading to. I'm not giving all the blame there to Arteta. Like it's these clowns in the background. It's Kroenkes as well. They need to be over here in the summer and they need to be pulled into the fucking Emma in Coney and say, what the fuck is going on here? How the fuck do I get a Champions League medal? How do I get a Premier League medal? Who the fuck do I need to clear around here? Please do, if you're new around here, hit the sub button and hit the like button. Sorry, go ahead,
I got a news flash for everybody. I said that we are in serious bother, which we are. And we will not win a league title ever again at this club until the Cronkies sell the club and get the fuck out. Until the board is fucking changed up. Until the management is changed up. Until the backroom staff is changed up. Until the dog called Wing gets the fuck out of the club. And until we get rid of about 40 to 50, I'd say 60. Until we get rid of about 60% of that squad and replace it with genuine players that's going to achieve. And get the winning mentality in the club. Until then, we are lingering in the table, top 4, and everybody fucking delighted with top 4. Did you see the state of the fan base in the Emirates Stadium on Sunday? Shouting and singing and hopping around and kissing and singing the Super Mikel Arteta song and the Odegaard. I'm putting a video out later on tonight on my channel about that fucking prick. That fucking Real Madrid fucking reject. Madrid didn't want him because he weren't fucking good enough. Danny Salabas, remember that useless bastard to play for Arsenal? What did he do?
Yeah.
He went back, he started winning eight competitions in 2 years. In the meantime, we have this fucking clown running around wiping his fucking hair every 2 seconds. I'm coming in on him. He was interviewed yesterday. What did he say? Our captain. What did he say? I'm a bit disappointed. Well, fuck you, Odegaard. So I'm coming in on that prick later on, and I have a good video about that prick. And this is the mentality, Del White, I'm talking about. That's our fucking captain. And he's saying that he's a bit disappointed. The whole thing is a joke, Del White. The fan base, lads on the steps at the Emirates Stadium putting Spurs jerseys over Arsenal jerseys. Going around shouting for Tottenham Hotspur last week. Shouting for West Ham on Sunday. All we had to do was beat fucking Fulham and Aston Villa. And we couldn't even do that. Why? People say that we didn't bottle the league this year. I don't agree. People are trying to say that we fucked it up. I don't agree. We fucking bottled it. Because we bottled against Fulham. 10-man Fulham. We bottled against Aston Villa when we knew we had to fucking beat them. We bottled it. Because that's all we are. Bottlers. Losers. Losing mentality. Fuck off with the whole lot of them. 38 years support this club. And what I've seen the last 2 weeks has been nothing short of pure fucking embarrassment.
Yeah. I want to bring Warren in there, and Manny, I'll get Warren in there because they've been sitting patiently and stuff like that. And if you're new around here, please do subscribe, hit the like button. Warren, as Luca was saying there, it's looking like he'll be getting a 3-year contract. Do you believe the rumours, or I'll give you another ultimate, is he holding down his contract? He has 1 year left as we're speaking now. Is he going to start flirting with other clubs? Or will that happen in your eyes? What do you think, mate?
I don't think he's going to flirt with other clubs because he knows if he goes to Real Madrid or Barcelona, he'll be held to account. And that's one of the biggest problems with this club. No one is being held to account. I want to know why the Cronkies or no one else is holding all these clowns to account for their failures, right? It just seems to me that these people are turning up, doing what they want, running amok. And if I was Stan, I'd be wanting to know how come I've given you £700 million to spend and we're not winning. It's just absolutely unbelievable the amount of money that fella has spent, and we're not competing, in my book. Now, you look at it, let's have a look at it. And it's, in some respects, I think we're even going backwards. Okay? We've got the likes of Emil Smith-Rowe. When he first came into the team, he was outperforming Saka. Right? He was getting more assists and scoring more goals than him. Right? The guy is almost on the scrap heap because he hasn't been handled properly. Saka is burnt out. I don't care what anyone says, that guy is finished. He's finished. His performances towards the end of the season were poor, right? And he's on a downward curve. He's not improving. He's getting worse. Any other club he was at would have progressed him and made him into a world-class talent. And you have to ask yourself the question, we spent £700 million in the transfer market, right? We haven't got one world-class player. How is that even possible? It's shocking. It really is shocking. And I'm really concerned about the future direction of this club, because I'm hearing things about games being moved to the United States, competitive games, not friendlies, competitive games in the Premier League. And people can sit there and say, oh, it won't happen, it won't happen. Well, FIFA are looking into it and talking about it. So it's a serious threat that they're going to do it. Barcelona are going to do it. Real Madrid are going to do it. If those two are going to do it, so is everyone else. And as soon as that happens, this club is dead and buried, because it was the thin end of the wedge. Before you know where we are, 10, 15 years down the track, this club probably won't even exist anymore. It'll be LA Cannons or something like that. The whole thing is an absolute shambles. It really is. And why is it we're not bringing any players from the youth team? Where's the young talent that's supposedly coming through? We had one kiddie who was about 15, who was brought on as a substitute, and which was a publicity stunt, in my opinion. So this club is not set up for success on any level at all. We're wasting money hand over fist. I'd say about 80% of the money that this club has spent in the last 5 years has been wasted. Look at the players. We've got Declan Rice. He's the only one who I think has come in and he's getting anywhere near to being world class. The rest of them are just not good enough. Saliba and Gabriel, maybe. There's Declan Rice, Saliba and Gabriel. The three of them are class players. The rest of them, they're just not good enough. All throughout the team, there's massive issues with the team. The midfield is nowhere near good enough. You've got Martin Odegaard, he goes missing. We've got El Neni, we've got Jorginho, we've got Emil Smith-Rowe. It's a shambles. And we spent £700 million, and that's what we got to show for it. You've got Eddie Nketiah up front. You've got Gabriel Jesus, who can't hit a barn door from 2 yards. I'm sorry, but this club is in a mess. And the whole lot of them need to go. The manager, the board, and the owners, and about 90% of the fan base as well.
This is the thing.
When you've got fans putting on Tottenham shirts because our rivals in the so-called fabled title race are playing them in a game. I'm sorry, that is not acceptable. And then let me tell you something else. Last thing I'm going to say before I go. Many years ago, in 1989, when we were going with Liverpool for the league title, I remember, I think it was about February, we played a game up at Coventry. We lost the game 1-0. And at the time, we were going toe-to-toe with Norwich City at the top of the table. They were our main rivals for the title at that point. Liverpool were way down the league. They were quite a way behind. That night, Norwich City were playing Tottenham away, and Tottenham beat them 2-1. Okay? And then what happened was at the end of the game, the Coventry people working in the stadium put it over the tannoy that Tottenham had beaten Norwich, and a massive cheer went up in the crowd from a big group of Arsenal fans. And this fella I was with, he got up on the stanchion, right? And he said, listen, we're Arsenal. We never, ever cheer Tottenham. And with that, there was a massive disagreement broke out in the crowd. There were people fighting and all this carry on. So what I'm trying to say is, just if we're Arsenal and we're proper Arsenal, we never ever support Tottenham. These people who are doing that are an absolute disgrace. They've got no idea about what this club's all about. I'm sorry, it's just not acceptable. None of it. Listen, I know several people who are around about the same age as me are all talking about walking away from it because we're sick to the back teeth of seeing the name of this club and what it stands for being dragged through the dirt and disregarded. Because I'm sick of it, mate. I'm telling you, any more of this nonsense, and I'm walking away. I'm walking away because I'm sick to the back teeth of this fucking club making an absolute shambles and tits of itself.
Like, do you like any protests?
Like, yeah, but I like for younger fans, okay, I don't get why you're mad about Arteta and stuff like that. For Darren, for myself, for Mane, for Warren, for Jez, Kyle, like, you know, let's say we're older generations. We've seen the 90s, the 80s, 90s Arsenal teams, the Invincibles and stuff like that. And as Kyle Walsh should say, our standards are up here. Why the fuck are we just... Because I don't care if it's a fucking donkey on the sideline. If he's a quality manager, I couldn't give a fuck. I'll have him. But this, he's gorgeous. He's this, he's that. He's cool and he's... Why? Why do you care? Like, just fucking get a manager to win me fucking games. Have the bottle to do fucking burst the dressing room door open if there's someone or if there's 2 or 3 players that are not putting the fucking shift in.
But which manager is available out there? Which manager would you bring in? For me, a manager who I can think of is probably maybe Zidane. But
Mike Bassett.
Yeah, come here. Look, I want to get to Manny. Manny's been there waiting patiently as usual. Manny, like, I just want to hit you up with the whole Arteta contract. Is he getting a new one? Or I'm asking you the same question that they did Warren. Is he flirting? Is he going to flirt with other clubs this coming season?
Let me tell you something right now, Del. And first of all, I mean, you know, big up to everyone on the panel. Big up to Darren, who's joined us. Good to see you. I hope you're doing a lot better now. You said you got injured in the warm-up?
He was only joking.
Yeah, sort of got distracted, so I'd use the football analogy. So
that's nice. But you took a licking and you're still ticking. Wonderful to have you, sir. Now, the worst part about coming in now is that I don't even know what I can possibly say without running the risk of it being a little bit all too repetitive. You know what I mean? And as far as the whole contract situation is concerned, I think Warren has nailed it. There's no way that he could even consider, you know, trying to go to Spain and manage at the big clubs, because I'll tell you what, as Warren has said quite perfectly, he will be held to account and he will be severely judged. Xavi came into Barcelona and actually beat Carlo Ancelotti to win the Spanish La Liga, and you know, of course, he wouldn't have been in that position anyway. Never mind. But I mean, obviously, he won La Liga, but now there's been talk about him not staying there for very long. There was some sort of a will he, won't he, with apparently his being persuaded to stay, but now it looks as though he could be going. But you see the standards over there, the levels over there. And they're not going to have this sort of an excuse of how we have to build a team given some of the situations we've been through. Because, mind you, they've had a lot of financial issues. I believe they had to play their games at the Barcelona Olympic Stadium and not the Nou Camp, which is undergoing some reconstruction. I think also has been in the middle of, you know, a name change sort of thing. You know what I mean? And look, they're still able to make sure that they compete or thereabouts, and they managed to win. They managed to break a duck, and it didn't take Xavi very long at all after replacing some of the hapless people that were at the helm there. But he's being held to account. There's no way that Arteta will be held to account. Whether it's going to manage even his local Real Sociedad, where ironically Kieran Tierney's been sent on loan, they're also going to expect some better results than what they have now, what he's been producing. And there is a difference between competing for a league and being in a position to win and mucking it up. I'm sorry, but there's no way that you can do that. You can sort of forgive that. Last season, in many ways, was absolutely unforgivable because the complacency of the boys was unforgivable in many ways, and Arteta is complicit in that. And even this season, City had a period in the middle of the season where they slipped up. I believe they drew against Chelsea, they drew against Liverpool, and Aston Villa beat them. So they were vulnerable too. So we could actually have done a lot better and made sure that we sealed everything up. And yet we just dropped the ball, pun intended. We completely let it slip. And Arteta has to take a big chunk of the blame for that. And I also want to take a look at to talk about the whole stunt that was pulled by TalkSport with that poor fella being, asked to put a Tottenham shirt over the Arsenal shirt. And see that I'm happy to welcome Jez in because he and I were having a discussion about this on Matt the Southern Gooner stream. A lot of us were in agreement that poor fellow was a paid actor. And it's something that hits me personally because I know the boy's South Indian. He clearly isn't a long-time resident of the UK, wasn't born and brought up there, didn't have the accent. And the sad part is he could very well be from the same area that my dad is from and where I'm living right now. So he might speak my language. But for him to sort of do that, if you want to be a fan of any kind of a football team, as I said on the stream, you have to make sure you know the history very well. And it took me a long time to make sure I knew the history. But once I knew it, I sort of realized that regardless of, our geographical locations and our circumstances, you cannot simply, under any circumstance, cheer for Tottenham if you are an Arsenal fan. And the same goes the other way. And for that fellow to have been a part of that, if he were truly an Arsenal fan, he would have said, no, I'm not interested in that. I don't want to run the risk of, putting myself out there on TV and being asked to do that and run the risk of having people coming after me and abusing me and possibly, hopefully not, heaven forbid, even, punching me up. And a lot of people have said that if that poor fellow had been seen in some of the more violent corners of North London, not too far from where Highbury used to be, that poor chap wouldn't have even gotten out alive. And to that bloke, Egal, who had the nerve to call people like Jez and by extension Darren and Warren and others jokes by saying that sometimes you've got to break an egg if you want to make an omelette and that your love for the club should always trump your hatred for your enemy. And I'm going to say this right now. There could be a situation where, my worst enemy could depend on me to donate blood to save his child's life or the life of a person he loves. But that's a different case altogether. Saving a life is something that you have to do as a human being, and it'll weigh on my conscience if I don't do that. But supporting your enemy, a football team which you consider an enemy over another team, I'm sorry, but that is just sacrilegious. And as Jez perfectly said to him on many streams, I think it was on Dan Potts' stream that he said that, Egal's an ignorant idiot who doesn't even know anything about it. And I don't want to simply, I don't want to criticize the fella too much because obviously he's a fan from overseas. He may not have been born and brought up in the UK. He might be based there. I don't know. But you still have to make sure that you know the history of the club, you know the circumstances, and you have to make sure that you really, really understand everything and say that there are some things you can't do. It's one thing to want Manchester City to lose or, draw or drop points. Another thing altogether to actively cheer for your rivals. And Jez nailed it brilliantly again. So what we see over here is the way the culture is changing. But while Ange Postecoglou had the courage and the gumption to speak out against it, Arteta just lapped it up and said he wasn't going to talk about that. And people praise this fellow as having changed the culture of the club for the better. As our mutual friend Northside will say, "Vai tomar kuna pucaria." Get out of here with that rubbish. And I'm sorry if I butchered the Portuguese. I don't think I've got it correctly. I do speak a few words, but not more than that. But I don't blame Warren for saying that he'd like to walk away. And if any fans his age or even older are considering walking away, I think there was a mention about a 51-year season ticket holder, considering giving it all up because he was angry with the state of it all. And last year he was very angry with the state of the fact that we were giving Xhaka we were serenading him and asking him to stay and having a celebration for coming in second. We've seen better Arsenal teams over the years coming in second, and we never, ever, ever gave them a send-off for doing this sort of stuff. When you play for a club like Arsenal with our history, and people, these same Arteta inners, big up our history and say that we are the best club in London with regard to winning Premiership titles, all league titles, and FA Cup wins, and the other London clubs will always be in our shadow. And yet you have the nerve to say you're still so proud of this team. Proud of this team? For what? For bottling 2 league campaigns in succession? For struggling to beat an Everton team that could very easily have beaten us at Highbury the way West Ham and Aston Villa did, and seeing that Manchester City team equal our goal difference, which was apparently the pride and joy of so many of these Arteta inners. It is sickening. It's absolutely sickening.
Yeah.
And the only question that could be asked, and I will be brief because I know that Darren and Jez have to speak, is that the only question is, at what point do things start to change for the better? Because history will tell us that there will come a time when things will start to change for the better. All things will pass, as they say. But it will take something cataclysmic to make things really change for the better. And I will predict that the only way that things will change for the better is if we have a drop-off next season. I think Kyle Walsh is confident that it will happen. And if we do have a serious drop-off where we aren't even able to make the Champions League, then questions are going to be rightly asked about the manager. I don't even see us launching a campaign in either of the domestic cups. And as for the Champions League, write that off. I'm sorry. Yeah. We're going to have some really big teams coming up against us. So sadly, things are going to have to get worse before they can get better. And hopefully soon there will come a time when even the most gormless of supporters will realize that the emperor has no clothes. But sadly, in the words of Seamus Heaney, sadly, hope and history are not rhyming in this case.
Yeah, exactly. Big up, man. And big up to Darren and Jez for popping in. I really appreciate it. It's been a while, Jez, and Darren as well, actually. But no, really do appreciate your support and dropping in. Darren, since you were here just before Jez, I'll just come to you with a question because it's something that Warren touched on, and it's something that Warren has been saying it to me, and I actually do agree with him. It's the coaching of, let's say, the younger players. Martinelli came onto the scene. He was absolutely quality. He's gone dog shit now lately. Starboy, for me, good player, but is he world class? Is he getting coached, or what the fuck is happening to some of these players?
Well, you say Martinelli, you said he was world class, and then you went back on it and said he was dog shit. Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen on the TV and in the ground, because I go to about 6 to 8 games a season, whenever I see Martinelli, he does a good run, but his end product, what the great George Graham used to coach David Rocastle with, the great George Graham, when we were just taking over with George Graham from Liverpool, right, he would do press conferences and he would say, they'd ask him, isn't Rocastle good? And he would say things like, yeah, he's very good, but I'm asking him to have more end product. Yeah. Well, nobody's doing that with Martinelli. I can tell you that now, because you watch him every time he gets on goal. Go and look at all the games that we played this season. And more often than not, he gets into good positions and he puts it straight down the goalkeeper's throat every time. So who's training that out of him? Who's getting him to change? Who's telling him, look, breathe, take 2 or 3 deep breaths, look up, pick a spot, left or right, top corner, bottom corner, or left or right. Yeah, it's not happening because Martinelli is gassed up. He's overhyped. And so is Odegaard. He's another one that's massively overhyped. So in answer to your question there, I would say the coaching is substandard. Now, I know they've got this set-piece coach who has done a good job.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to come on here, right, and I want Arteta out all day long. I want Edu out, and I'd like the Cronkies gone as well, because although they've put the money in, Warren's spot on. Where's their strategic responsibility? Where's it gone? I'll tell you where it is. It's out in America. they turn up in pre-season and at the end of the season. That's all them people do, other than give it all this with the merch and all that. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to be fair tonight. I'm going to tone myself down a little bit and give people a little bit of credit. But at the end of the day, we failed again. Here we are in season 4, and I'm disappointed in the fan base, in the ground, online, on all these YouTubers. What I want to see from all these YouTubers, everyone who's got a channel, is just to be blind. Arteta out, blind. Yeah, it's almost like us as a fan base in the ground and on these channels are worried in case Arteta succeeds, and then we're going to have egg on our face, right? That has got to go. And until it goes, nothing's going to change. I hear people coming on here saying, it'll never happen. It'll never happen. Well, it's going to happen if you keep saying it's never going to happen, right? Blind, cruel for your football club until you can more so blind with your or clear with your belief that this manager needs to go, he's never going to go. And can somebody tell me why yesterday we needed 3 points in case Man City slipped up? We knew they weren't going to slip up. At one point it was 2-1. Can somebody tell me why Onana dominated midfield in a game of this magnitude? We looked shit yesterday. We looked like we couldn't be asked.
We were bored yesterday, and after the game,
we didn't look like we were that bothered about it. Were we nervous? I don't know. Right? But we should have been in a game like that. We should have been wiping the floor with Everton. But Onana is bossing the midfield. Right, and that's because this wonderful manager that Arteta is, he's putting square pegs in. He's put Havertz in the midfield for half the season. These players probably don't know if they're coming or going half the time. And you've got to be successful. You've got to have a bit of consistency. You can't get told, well, you'll be playing up front one week and then playing midfield the next. Lots of people on these channels have been spot on with the Villa game, saying that Arteta put Havertz in left midfield and that messed it all up. And I actually think that's not a bad summary and observation of where he went wrong. The title to this video tonight is Where's It All Gone Wrong? That's just one segment. That's a cog in the wheel of where it gone wrong. The other thing is, well, Arteta hasn't got the managerial experience. When it comes to the crunch, when it comes to managing a top-tier club where you've got to be in 3 or 4 competitions. Well, Arteta already gives himself a discount because he bins the League Cup and the FA Cup. He can't even manage the Premier League and Champions League, 2 trophies, let alone 3 or 4, right? And what does he do? He's got Aston Villa. They're a very tricky opponent, and a lot of respect to Unai Emery. Good experience that we binned, right? I wanted him out. Unai Emery, so I'm not going to be a hypocrite and change and lie and swap and but at the end of the day, Arteta there, he's got Aston Villa at home, then he's got Bayern Munich at home the following Wednesday. He couldn't cope with it. He ain't got the tactical knowledge, he ain't got the emotional power that you need as a manager. The likes of the Brian Cloughs, the George Grahams, the Alex Fergusons, the Mourinhos, they had it. This man ain't got it. He's not got the charisma. He's not got nothing. Next point, Dubai. Yeah, the holiday. Let's analyse the Dubai trip, right? Now, a lot of people said, yeah, but we went to holiday to Dubai and then we won 6-0, 5-0, Crystal Palace, Sheffield United. Let's turn that around, shall we? Look at what happened in the 2 games before they went on holiday.
Fulham and West
Ham, Fulham, loss. Are these players thinking of Dubai rather than what they should be doing? Have they been given rewards far too early in the season? Oh, I'll tell you what, lads, we're there or thereabouts. I'll tell you what, have a nice holiday to Dubai, for 2 or 3. Go and get yourself all tanned up, and what? I just don't get the logic of this football club. Who's approved that? Has that gone through the Cronkies, Edu, Arteta? What? I just think it's scatty. It's ridiculous. Now, here's another thing. This is generational. The problem we've got in our fan base is generational, right? You've got the old boys like myself, Jez, Kenny Ken, Lee Gunner, Warren, Dell, and then you've got other people, fans, that have come along and they're getting tickets to the games and they're getting the season tickets to the people that left Highbury. And all of a sudden, they've been brought up at school that you're a hero. If you come second, you're a hero. And what I saw today from someone who sent me some footage on Twitter has defined and confirmed the delusion and the naivety of Arsenal's fan base. I'm talking about young men between 20 and 30. I saw on Twitter today Everton fans by their coach. I saw a fat Liverpool supporter, not Liverpool, Everton supporter. Yeah, grey hair, bloodied nose, right? I saw other Everton supporters, and there was a little bit of aggro. There was fisticuffs. The Everton fan had a bloodied nose like this, right? So everyone's squaring up. No sign of the police. It's all being recorded. It's all on Twitter, this, right? Along comes a Johnny come lately, probably about 25 years of age, comes in, and this Everton fan, he's probably about 60. He's got a big belly on him, right? Looks like he'd been on the piss all day. Johnny come lately in his Arsenal top, comes along, goes right over the top. He thinks he's either Tyson or Usek. Does this, hits him. The geezer goes back, and Johnny come lately puts his arm up in the air, goes, 25, and he's just knocked a man of about 60 to the floor, right? Now, this Everton fan, and the next thing you see on the footage, Everton fan's on his back, flat out. He's got a big belly. He looks like he could have a heart attack at any second, right? These people, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know. They got no life experience. Their brain is not engaging. They're not thinking, right, this geezer's a big fat fucker. If I hit him, he could go down and he could be brown bread. Because people who fall back and hit their head back on pavements, that's one of the number one trends for a murder job and somebody to get, lifed or manslaughter. And here's this Johnny come later who's 25 giving it like this. It's the same with our football club. They think they know what they're doing. They think they know everything, and they don't know the consequences of what they're actually doing. By saying we've got Super Mick Arteta, he knows exactly what we need. No, he don't know what we need. Yeah, we haven't got Tierney at the back. And as for Gabby in attack, he ain't all that. It's a complete joke. And you look at our 5 defeats. Newcastle away, right? We had Arteta's joke of a performance with blaming all the refs. Then we had Aston Villa away. That was like a standard defeat. Villa at home, we've already been through that one already. Fulham away and West Ham at home. Well, really, we've lost the title on those games. I mean, if we'd have just won one out of them, we would have won the league. Yeah, because we've lost the league by 2 points. We'd have won one of them games out of them. We'd have won the league. And you're losing 5 games. You might win the title losing 5 games if the other lot are poor. But we already know Man City are head and shoulders above everyone else. They're riding a crest of a wave. They've won all these trophies and titles. They got mega confidence. They've got mega resources. But we ain't got far off the resources they've got. It's just they went out and recruited a world-class manager and we didn't. And I'm going to end this now because I've been rambling on for a while and it is a bit of a rant. But the only way I can finish what I'm going to say is every season just reminds me of Only Fools and Horses, because all you hear from these mugs is this time next year we're Premier League champions.
And who said that? None other than Del Boy. Not this one, the other one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Who'd be Rodney and Trigger for you, Del?
Oh, Jesus, I'd have a few. You're
That's
putting me
got to
on
be
the
Edu
spot.
and Arteta, isn't it? It's got-
Yeah. Well, here, let me get into Jez. He's been waiting there patiently, and big up, mate. Hope you're doing well. You know, well, first of all, were you hopeful in any way? Let's say this time last week, even before the Spuds played Man City, was there a glimmer of hope for you?
There was, but let's be honest, mate. You know, we know what this fraud of a manager is. You know, and it was all masking it over. It's all papering over the cracks, wasn't it? 6-0 West Ham. Da 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 da. It's all great football, beautiful, fantastic, well done. Yeah, but you ain't won fuck all. That's it. I mean, that's it. But what on earth, in my belief, right? And by the way, Darren, that guy that did that to the guy, he was actually reporting and he was actually caught and arrested. The Arsenal CCTV got him, and he'll be banned for life now. But that was a despicable display of violence against a guy that's just gone there for a day out, and you get some little muppet like that go up to him and knock him down. As you quite rightly say, Darren, you know, if he'd smacked his head bad on the pavement, mate, he could be dead, and that guy would be then doing 25 years time. But that's beside that's that. But the thing is, we've got Arteta now, for another season, and there's no question about it. He's not going to get sacked, right?
Yeah.
The only time he's going to go if he wants to go. Yeah. Which he ain't going to go. He's on an easy ride. He's not having any pressure putting on him by the Cronkies, which sums it up. Stan Kroenke stated when he bought Arsenal, I haven't brought Arsenal to win trophies. Fact.
Yeah.
That's it. That is it. So we're just going to go along for the ride again next season. And you're quite right in what you said, Del Boy. Unless it's a catastrophe next season, that's the only time I think he'll get booted out. Yeah, if we have a absolute crap time in the Champions League. Don't forget, next season the Champions League's got a new format. It's not going to be like it has been in the past. It's a totally different setup, right? So that could be an interesting scenario straight away. I doubt. I mean, this is something I've been looking at today. This manager has the worst track record since 1947 in the FA Cup. Third, fourth, third. Thereabouts. That's the worst ever in Arsenal history since 1947. It's a joke. The man doesn't take it seriously. And yet there's people still there, the get along gang at the Emirates. It's all be nice. It's all, we don't want to upset. Oh, no, it's Arteta. He's the best looking Spaniard. We know bullshit bollocks. Right? I'd call these people out. Luca, I'm calling you out. You said give him another season.
Well, I said that because the reason why I said give him another season because he's took us into 2 title challenges. But if he doesn't win the league next season,
he hasn't won nothing, mate. He hasn't won nothing.
I know he hasn't won anything at the moment. But however, if he doesn't win anything next season, then he has to be sacked because
no. He has to go now. He hasn't won anything.
The reason why I said a few weeks ago I wasn't saying this, but the reason why I said give him another season because he ain't going anywhere. That's the problem.
No, he's not going anywhere for as long as we say he ain't going anywhere. Trust me. If we start calling this bloke out on all these YouTubes and in the ground He will be gone. They won't say empty seats are very powerful. It's what got rid of Wenger. Yeah.
The thing is, mate, Luca, is you're accepting failure.
Well, yeah,
You're accepting failure. You've accepted failure, mate.
yeah, because at the end of the
Second,
day,
yeah,
I want my
you've
football club
accepted
to go on
failure.
a piece.
Why don't you demand better and say, no, I want him gone. I want him out.
Well, originally I wanted him gone a few weeks ago, but now I've got to a point where I feel like, right, okay, he isn't going anywhere. Right, what's he going to do next season?
Fail.
He's probably going to fail next season.
So why do you keep him then?
Because at the end of the day, the reason why I said that, because he isn't going anywhere. That's the problem.
Well, no.
Yeah, but your vote is very important. If you do channels, people are listening to what you're saying.
Success. No. You should be, as an Arsenal fan, like you're an Arsenal fan, right? Yeah. So you want your club to succeed. So you should be saying, nah, get rid of the guy.
He's got loyalties to Arteta. He's not won us anything exponential. No, he's not done a spectacular job. If he was like Wenger or George Graham, I'd understand people still saying, give him another season, give him a chance. But he's not. He ain't done anything exceptional.
He hasn't done anything
other than inherit an FA Cup from Unai Emery, who built that team. That's all he's done.
Yeah, Emery won that FA Cup. Arteta didn't win the FA Cup. Unai Emery won that.
So what's he done then, Luca? What's he done, man?
For me, right, the only thing I will give him credit is that he's changed all around from putting us 8th into 2nd. But however,
that's nothing special.
That's the only tiny thing he's done. But however, everything else he has failed. Because however, I want Arsenal Football Club to go on and win league titles, right? And that's the problem. I want Arsenal to be number one and number best, but they're not proving every single Arsenal fan wrong. They're not improving me. They're not proving the panel wrong. They're not improving everyone wrong. The comments in the chat, the audience. We should have won this. We should have won this league this season. But the problem with this manager is that he made these stupidity changes, like the Fulham game. Why are you playing Partey at right back?
Now, mate, no, stop talking. Stop giving all the crap, mate. He hasn't won anything.
No,
right? He hasn't won anything. So why would you give him another season?
Because he ain't going anywhere at the moment. That's why.
No, yeah, you keep saying the same thing, fella. So why don't you demand better? Why don't you say, I actually want him out and let's get a proper manager in that will win?
Well, originally,
no. What you're telling me is, right, you're quite happy to fail another season.
Well, if he doesn't win anything next season, then
you're happy with that.
I say that every year.
But he needs to go. Yeah, but he needs to go if he doesn't win anything next season.
Mate, come on. Think logically, right? He's failed to...
He has failed so far, yeah. He has failed.
All right, here's a question for you, Luca. Let me ask this question, right? You're now the owner of Arsenal Football Club. You're Kroenke, right? Well, you're not Kroenke. You're better than Kroenke because he's not a proper Arsenal fan. He's an American businessman. He's not proper Arsenal. He's a fan. You're a fan. You just win something that's 10 times bigger than the national lottery and you get, say, £50 billion in your account and you buy Arsenal Football Club, right? So you employed Arteta 4 seasons ago and you've seen him go, this time next year we'll be millionaires. Yeah, he's telling you that, the chairman and the boss. What are you going to do? You're going to keep him on or sack him?
You can't promise anything because you're not going to listen to any of that.
Question, would you sack him, yes or no?
For me, probably yes. Because at the end of the day,
there you go.
For me, yes, because you're not promised anything.
Yeah, so there you
go.
You're
not promised anything.
Go.
If you have a job, right?
Oh, God almighty.
You're promised a promotion next year and you're not giving it, then you're not going to listen. And that's it. Because you're not guaranteed what you're going to get. It's like the football club is using you to not win league titles. Stan Kroenke, I don't like Stan Kroenke, right? I never did, right? But however, yes, he's backed Mikel Arteta, but for what? He hasn't won anything, and that's the problem, and that's why...
You've just defeated your own argument, brother. You've just defeated it. Because you just said he hasn't won nothing. Oh, I'll keep him though.
Well, because he ain't going anywhere anytime
There's
soon.
people in the chat here talking absolute bollocks. There's managers out there that will come to the club. Simeone Inzaghi, right? Winner.
Fraud.
Yeah. Come to the club.
It's fraud. We'll never have a year off because we're proper Arsenal fans.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, there are managers there that are available that have a proven track record. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people are saying, Mourinho, proper manager, winner, won every time wherever he's gone. Had time out. Oh, no, he's burnt. He's no good anymore. Xavi. Yeah. Oh, no, we don't want him. You know? Yeah. Zidane. Oh, we don't want him. Yeah, because it's all the get along people that accept failure. Because it's all about being nice and we can't fall out with each other and all this and all that, right? I remember the days at the Emirates Fair where fans were fighting against each other. Yeah. Arsenal fans fighting each other. They wanted Wenger out. And it was the fans that got Wenger out in the end. Do you know why they got him out? They stopped going to the ground.
100%.
And it's then the Cronkies saw they were losing revenue. They weren't selling their 27 quid steak and chip shit champ sandwiches, right? They weren't selling the beer at £7 a pint. Shit wine, £10 a glass. Yeah? That's what got Wenger out. Because at the end of the day, the fans speak for the club. And they want him out. He went.
Why are people not protesting Mikel Arteta compared to Wenger then?
Because we've got the best PR in the world at Arsenal. Right? It's absolute bullshit. Oh, what do they do on Thursday? What do they do? Drop the new kit. Oh, nice one. Yeah, drop the new kit. Let's keep everybody happy, right? Why were Arsenal crap yesterday? Yeah, why? Because they'd given up.
Yeah.
They knew what Man City was doing. They knew it, and they couldn't be bloody bothered. And that is the mentality of this football club.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, guys. At the end of the day, that leads from the top. And who's the top? Who is the top? It's the manager. The manager. It's the manager of the club who says, right, we're going to go and fight today, come whatever. We may get lucky, right? We may get lucky. West Ham may do a job. I had no faith in it, but at least you could say, well, let's give it a go. Let's have a fight. Yeah, let's prove ourselves. We've had a season. Let's try and prove it. But all the time, you've got fans there that accept mediocrity and failure. You're never gonna win shit.
The attitude stinks. Look at Ben White, walked out for England, and some people might not be too bothered about that. But at the end of the day, he's had an argument with the England manager and the England manager's assistant, and he's walked away from his country. Now, some people might say, well, that don't really matter. But then other opinions, like mine, are say, well, actually, that shows you might have a bit of an egotistical attitude problem. And then you've got Captain Odegaard getting cameras out against Liverpool 3-1. It's like, how silly does he look now?
Yeah, sorry, Manny. Do you want to jump in there?
No. All I was doing was, trying to point to Darren and saying that I agreed with him. And we were talking about this on a previous stream. And before Darren came in, I said that far from changing the attitude and the culture for the better, he's actually made it a lot worse, has Arteta. And I didn't mean to rhyme, but it happens from time to time. All right, enough's enough.
Yeah.
Now, so again, like I said, I really don't want to be repetitive, and I really have nothing more to contribute. I just wanted to, agree completely with what Darren said. And, even if you're club over country, what angers me is how so many people are willing to, so many so-called fans, and I know that Darren will agree with me on this, are so willing to say, good on Ben White for telling Southgate and Holland to stick it where the sun doesn't shine. But then these same morons are only too happy to slag off Emi Martinez for doing the same thing to Arteta, saying, I'm not going to sit around and be your number two because I've got ambitions that you aren't willing to support. And every time he comes back to Arsenal or plays against Arsenal, they sing at him, you're a rubbish Aaron Ramsdale or a crap David Raya. And there were some people who were saying in the prelude to Arsenal playing Villa at the Emirates, we can't wait to, humiliate Unai Emery and also make Emi Martinez cry again. But sadly, for us, of course, we all know who had the last laugh. It was Emi Martinez and Unai Emery laughing all the way away from the Emirates, having mucked up our title-winning season. That should be the script of the season. And if Emery ends up becoming manager of the year, well deserved. And that is something that will, be. What was really funny was also how AFTV's Turkish was saying that everything that's happened this season should be used as motivation to try and do better. But seriously, weren't the events of last season supposedly motivation enough? Being beaten by Manchester City at the Emirates, having all those ridiculous draws against Liverpool, West Ham and Southampton, losing to Brighton and Nottingham Forest before the end. It's as if, it's a repetition of the entire process. But I also want to get Warren's opinion on the whole Ben White situation, because I am going to go into this. And Darren and I can definitely agree that what Ben White did was absolutely petulant. And all those Arsenal fans who were happy to support Ben White on this issue are a bunch of hypocrites. And Warren and I actually had an interview together where I told him about my footballing history and my own preferences. I told him that I'm very much country over club, and that Italia 90 was my first experience watching football. And so for me, in as much as I do enjoy watching Premiership football and club football, for me, international football has to be the ultimate. International sport in any form has to be the ultimate for me. And so whenever you are given an opportunity to, represent your nation in any capacity, then you should take it as an honor and accept the call-up. And what's ironic was that had Ben White accepted the call-up to the England squad and at least been willing to meet Southgate and Holland halfway, he could have found himself thrust into the limelight against Brazil after Kyle Walker went off injured and ended up playing against Vinicius Jr. and having the chance to impress. As it was Aston Villa's Ezri Konsa who went in and did a pretty good job. And Konsa should be picked in the squad when Southgate makes his announcement. I don't think he'll play, but he's definitely some good backup cover for either a right back or a centre back, and he would deserve it. If Ben White hadn't been so petulant, that could have been him. And a lot of people are saying, well, Ben White does have a right to tell Southgate and Holland to shove it, because why should he continue to accept a call-up despite supposedly being the best right back in the league currently, and he might end up not playing ahead of Walker or Trippier? Well, there have been occasions this season where the man has literally been cooked. He certainly didn't look good at all against Everton. But when you are given the call up to play for your country, you put your ego to one side and you accept that call up and take pride in it. And the reason I want to bring Warren in here is because I do believe he's a big rugby fan. I've also seen some videos where he's had the picture of the British and Irish Lions crest in the background. In a sport like rugby, and I know that several others on our panel are rugby fans. I mean, maybe not Darren, and I don't know about Jez, but definitely you, Del Boy, are. But in rugby, there's a code of conduct and a different sort of professionalism. And especially if you are given the honour of being selected to play on a British and Irish Lions tour, which only takes place every 4 years, it is an honour, it is a privilege. And whether or not you get selected to play in the Test series or you don't, you have to make sure that your conduct is worthy of being a British and Irish Lion. And perhaps the best Lion squad in my memory was the 97 squad, led, of course, by Scotsman Ian McGeechan, who was managing the team. And I believe Martin Johnson was captain. And McGeechan made it crystal clear in interviews and in his autobiography, Lion Man, that one of the greatest ever Lions that he's ever had the pleasure of working with was none other than Jason Leonard, who, of course, went on to win the World Cup with England. Now, he had played in the previous tour in '93, covering both sides of the scrum. But in '97, he was actually considered to start the first test, and I think played in several of the tour games. But McGeechan instead went for Tom Smith, Lord rest his soul, of course, and Paul Wallace as the starting prop forwards. Leonard had the chance to be, he could have been bitter and angry about the fact that he wouldn't get to see his name in lights, but instead he showed the right attitude and was willing to make sure that he prepared both Smith and Wallace for those tests that came up. And the result, of course, was that both Smith and Wallace were outstanding in the first two tests, as the Lions won both and ended up winning the series with one test to play. But McGeechan was effusive in his praise for Leonard, saying he had the right attitude. He was willing to help the team, put the team ahead of his own disappointments. And that's why he's always considered Leonard one of the best Lions he's ever worked with, and considers him to this day his ultimate Lion. And in contrast, England's own captain, Will Carling, was criticised for his own attitude on a previous tour under McGeechan, that was '93, and Scott Gibbs was chosen ahead of him. And it had to be Carling's own England teammates that set him straight and said, look, Skipper, you may be our England captain, but when you're a Lion on this tour, it's not about you, it's about the collective. You either need to shape up or ship out. And eventually he got his act together and became a better tourist. So that is the whole thing about playing for your country or representing your country. And with Ben White ruling himself out of the equation, he showed that he doesn't have the right attitude to be a team player, no matter what Arsenal fans will say. And I would say that England are actually better off without him, because England doesn't need a person of his attitude. Regardless of how much we may dislike Southgate as a manager, I think Ben White pretty much shot himself in the foot there. And Warren, if I can come to you, I don't know if you've heard everything I've said, but would you agree with everything I've said if you've heard any of it?
More or less, yeah. This business about international recognition, it's a different ball game in rugby union. But I know what you mean. Anyone who doesn't really get it, do a search on YouTube for something called the Everest speech. Right?
Jim Telfer, right? Jim Telfer.
Yeah, it was delivered by Jim Telfer to the Lions. And the Lions is for those who don't know, it's 4 countries coming together to play as one. So England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland all play together as one team, and they go and tour in the Southern Hemisphere every 4 years to Australia, New Zealand, or South Africa. And I have to say, I absolutely love it. But this business about Ben White and his attitude, I just think, in general, his attitude stinks. Right? This is a guy, for me, when he first signed for the club, I remember seeing this interview he did, and he was talking about how he didn't watch football and because he doesn't like it. And I just, something doesn't sit well with me with that. And because in order to improve, presumably you have to watch videos of players in the past, and you have to examine how they played and learn that, and be a way to help you develop your game. And for me, I just don't see, if that's the case, I don't see how he's going to improve. And it's like, I've got nothing to learn. I'm the perfect specimen. Well, I'm sorry, mate, you ain't. And, you know, this arrogance that he has and all the rest of it, for me, it epitomises everything that's wrong with modern football. Right, and to me, if I was manager of Arsenal, he'd be one of the first I'd show the door to, because his attitude is disgusting. I'm sorry, but it is. I know a lot of fans will think, will say, yeah, well, he's a really good player. Well, he could be better if he showed some willingness to learn and develop his game. But by that comment alone, it tells me that he's not. Maybe I've got it wrong. I don't know. But I don't like the guy. I think he's an arrogant prick. And the sooner we get rid of him, the better, as far as I'm concerned, because I don't want someone in the team who has got that attitude.
And the irony of it is all these fans go around saying telling him to change the culture and all this. No, he ain't. It's got worse.
Exactly. That's what I said. It's gotten worse and worse. And the longer we keep people like Ben White in the team, and we have Odegaard as captain, it's going to get even worse. And if I were the manager, I'd tell Odegaard, you pull that stunt again with the camera, I'm taking the captaincy away from you.
Yeah, 100%. Like for me, if you don't have the determination, the willingness to want to win and stuff like that, and you're more interested, like at some stage, like the tanning and everything, this fella is more interested in looking the part or looking, tanning himself and all this bollocks, rather than fuck that, go out and play a fucking match. I don't want to see you after the match. I'm not interested in your life after the match or anything like that. And people are there, oh, well, he has his own private life. Yeah, he does. But he is getting paid by Arsenal Football Club, a club who I fucking live and breathe, okay, that are paying him serious fucking money, all right? Go out and do with your fucking shift. Put in a shift. Like, how dare he go around the pitch thinking he's this and that and throwing his toys out of the pram if someone gives him a bit of stick and stuff like that. I'm just not onto that. I just think it's disrespectful to the badge and to the heroes that used to play for the badge. The badge that's behind Jez is there. That's the badge that I want. You know what I mean? Darren, like, for you, what way is it for you with Ben White? Like, is there too many players in the squad? Not just Ben White. Is there too many players in the squad?
I mean, it's an attitude thing. I mean, if I got put in charge tomorrow, I'd be getting Ben White and Odegaard in and saying to them, look, I'm watching you for the next 5-10 games and I want to see an attitude improvement off of you. I'd probably strip Odegaard of the captaincy and I'd put him on the bench. I'm going to be, I'd have ESR in the team all day long ahead of Odegaard, because I just think when you see Odegaard run, his legs don't look right. They look like he's shuffling, like he's not breaking. We used to see Pat Vieira sprinting, stride, strong, no vulnerability. You see Odegaard when he gets the ball, he's like an injured butterfly. He's just pissing about like this. He's overrated. Get rid of him. Out. I don't want to see him anymore. I've had enough of it. I'm sick of it. How he's compared to like players. All right, he can put a ball in, and he's got a reasonable shot on him, but that's not enough. We need people like Gilberto's, Vieiras, and I know those players now are very rare commodities because the standards are dropped across the board, but we can do better than Odegaard. We can. Even that Onana run the midfield yesterday. I just don't get it. I don't. And Ben White's attitude, everything that Warren and Manny said there, is spot on. Years ago, Arsenal Football Club, you got told when you're here, you've got to be on your best behaviour 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Go letting us down, and you'll probably get a warning to begin with. But you only get a warning if you're world class and we can carry you. If you're not world class and you're just like a fringe player, you're out. You're gone. Finished. You're getting sold. Go and find another club. Andy Cole got kicked out of Arsenal years ago, well before he went to Newcastle and Man United, because he was doing things that he shouldn't have been doing. And they probably weren't on the football pitch. I don't know the full story behind it, because obviously I don't want to be, disrespectful, and because people are young sometimes and they make mistakes that perhaps they wouldn't make if they'd look back on their time again. But and Ben White is seriously coming out in interviews saying that, I'm not interested in football, and you see some of his interviews are like Trigger from Only Fools and Horses. It's like the lights are on, but nobody's at home when he's in the interviews after a game. He's not even got the character or the personality to be an Arsenal Football Club player. I know I get wound up with Gary Neville, but at least he's got a bit. He's interested in the game. He's a right back. He played for England. Every Arsenal fan hates him, including me. But at the end of the day, I respect that bloke because he does it. He's interested. He lives and breathes football. He's on Sky Sports now. He's got a terrific job as a pundit and all that. None of us agree with him because we all know his agenda's Man United and he hates Arsenal. But at the end of the day, you've got to respect his attitude. And that's why he's a winner. That's why he probably won 9 or 10 titles with Man United.
Yeah, it's just I want to go mad and I want to go on a rant, but I'm so interested in hearing what you guys have to say. Luca, I just want to, because I have one or two people that want to get in the background. So do you want to give a shout out to your socials and stuff? And thanks for coming on.
Yeah, of course, I'm going to bounce now, but thank you very much for inviting me on. And subscribe to the channel, Luca AFC. Just did an end of the season review not long ago, about 4 p.m. So make sure you do check that out. And we're on the road to 7.5K. But thank you very much, everyone. Pleasure to meet everyone, and have a great show, people. Yeah.
Well done, Luca. Cheers, mate.
Nice one.
Thanks a million. I just wanted to get this gentleman. He's been waiting in the background patiently. Big up, Static. How are you doing, mate?
Hey, boys. I hope you're all well.
All good.
Jez, it's great to see you again.
So, what's your making of this, Static? The whole Arteta, is he going to flirt with other clubs? Are we giving him a 3-year contract?
Why would you give me this question? Seriously?
You know me, I'm coming in. There's no messing around here. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button and please do hit the like as well. Static, what are you saying, mate?
No. 3-year deal? No, thank you. The guy, I'm sorry, he's taken Arsenal Football Club as far as he possibly can. Thank you for the memories, and I'm saying that respectfully to anyone who likes Arteta, but it's time to say goodbye. Just
why is he like? Why do Arsenal always do this? As in, like, with the contracts for the players, I'm talking about. So, who was it last year? Like Reece Nelson, Eddie Nketiah, stuff like this. Before the end of the season, we're giving them these contracts, and we're giving them long contracts. Why are we doing this? And this is what I said earlier on, and I said that to Luca. It's not only Arteta. There's people behind him. You have Edu, Garlic Head, who are doing the contracts. Why the fuck are they doing? Like, why? How are we supposed to get rid of Reece Nelson? Like, I know everyone's there saying, oh, we need to get rid of Reece. We need to get rid of Eddie. We need to get rid of, whoever else. These guys are not going to be leaving the club easy, just so people know that. Like, it's not just a matter of, oh, yeah, off you go. Eddie is on 150 grand a week. Who the fuck is going to give him 150 grand a week? He'll just go, no, you're all right, I'll stay here.
Delby, sorry to interrupt, buddy. He's actually on 100K. In case you...
Yeah, well, yeah, 100. Like, but you know what I'm saying.
That's still bad.
Who is going to give him that? What Premiership club is going to give him 100 grand a week plus pay a transfer fee?
No one.
But how are we supposed to get rid of him? This is what I'm saying. Like, if you're Reece Nelson or if you're Eddie or whatever, and you're just there, right? Crystal Palace will say, want you, okay? They're only going to give you 50 grand a week. No, I'm not leaving. Why the fuck would I leave? Why would I leave there and earn half my wages? No, you're grand. I'll stay at Arsenal. How do we get rid of these players? And who is responsible? And this is where no one is fucking saying it. Oh, it's easy just to get rid of them. You know what I mean? It's someone needs to be held accountable, and it's the people that I'm mentioning in the background, Vinay as well, because they're signing off on this. And you think about the millions and millions and millions of pounds that they have wasted on this club. I'm sorry, I'm just going off on a bit of a rant there, and my dog has even gone off on a rant.
No, go for it, man.
Yeah. No, Jez, I suppose I'll ask you the question. How the fuck are we supposed to get rid of these players? The deadwood. I know El Nenny's gone and Cedric is gone. Like, these are two players that got new contracts after new contracts after new contracts, and they're still at the club, and they're only leaving the two of them. How are we getting rid of Reece Nelson and Eddie?
Delboy, Jess, sorry to cut in, boys. I apologise. As I'm sure you guys already know, Vinay's leaving at the end of the season, so at least that's one big thorn that's gone. Anyway, go on, Jess. Sorry.
No, you're quite right, man. The problem is we sign these players up, we give them big salaries, and they fail. Who do we blame for that? That's the question. Who do we blame for that? Well, it's got to be the management. There's no other. Nobody else does it. You know, they make the decision, so you have to question them, their failure. Now, great question. Nobody's going to pay Nketiah 100 grand a week. He's championship level at best, but he was at Leeds United on loan, couldn't get in the team.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. So that's a worry. Yeah. We've got players got to go out the door, and I talked about this earlier on Lee's show. Yeah, is we have several players that have got to go out. Yeah, but that means we've got to get money from to bring players in to replace them before we even look at improving the squad. So if we get rid of Reece Nelson, Nketiah, ESR, yeah, Tavares, yeah, and then Nketiah, of course. If we get rid of them, and El Nenny's going anyway, we've got to replace those players with somebody else. That's the confusion. That is a big, big confusion. Because we've got a pretty bloody weak squad as it stands.
You say that, Jez, but when do they, all those players you just mentioned, when have they played for us this season? They ain't really had a look in, have they?
Well, I think the thing is there, Darren, is the fact that he doesn't trust them.
No.
He doesn't trust
You
them.
don't trust them.
He doesn't. But the thing is also, Darren, right? We've got this amazing youth squad set up. Where are they? Where are they, mate? Enwary turned up against Brentford. Yeah, yeah. Piss take bringing him on. Right. So I'm sorry, people. We have to just question the management that has improved Arsenal. Yeah, all these guys have improved Arsenal. I'm not seeing it. Sorry, because at least when Wenger was here, yeah, he used the youth squad in the League Cup. Yeah, he used to give them a go, but we're not. You know, we're not just not using what the facility, what we're not using, what we could potentially be using, because all this manager does is look at, oh, we've got to play this guy, we've got to play this guy. He doesn't trust his own bloody bench, right? How many times has ESR been on the pitch? How many times has Reece Nelson, right? How many times? Well, no, I'm not going to mention that because he got injured. Timber, that's not his fault, right? Came on yesterday. What's the point? What was that about? That was just PR. That's pure PR. Bringing him on yesterday. Waste of time. Nketiah is quite clear now that Arteta has no faith in Nketiah. He hasn't played for forever. So he's out the door. Good. He's not good enough at this club. But as you quite rightly said there, guys, yeah, who's going to pay him 100 grand a week? I can't see it. So will this be another one? Will this be another one? Rip his contract up and we get nothing for him. I wouldn't be surprised.
That will happen.
At that one. Because, you know, you telling me a championship team, or dare I even say it, a Division 1 team, are going to pay him 100 grand a week? No, they're not. They can't afford it. So are we just going to let him go out the door for nothing? I wouldn't be at all surprised. Oh, because this is the big Arsenal, right? So that's another one gone. So, and we're looking, right, apparently, yeah, in the January window, we couldn't buy anyone because of FFP. Yeah. So are we going to go down this road again, are we, in the summertime? We need to strengthen this squad. And all we do is just let people walk out the door for nothing because Arteta, Edu, Vinay, you bought these people. You bought them. And they're crap.
See, I think what they do, Jez, is they give these players long contracts and say, "Oh, we're hoping you're going to turn into world class." You know, like
value,
some
Darren.
players, they turn into they don't just wake up one morning and they're world class. So some of them do, but they're rarities. But you get people like Gareth Bale, who was just an average left back, for example, and then all of a sudden he just kicked on, and all of a sudden he got a move to Real Madrid, right? So I think what they're doing is some of these players they're going, oh yeah, we're hoping you're going to be prolific, like with Eddie. We're hoping you're going to get 30 goals a season. And yeah, we'll give you 100,000 so you can do it. Well, that's the worst business decision you can ever make because you're giving them it's common sense, you know. We all know this. What I'm saying, they get rewarded too much. A holiday to Dubai after,
yeah.
You know, why? Why are they going? Have the holiday to Dubai after you've just won a trophy, maybe. Madness.
It's like for me, like Darren, you.
Sorry to interrupt you, mate. Sorry, I've got to bounce, boys, because the wife's got dinner ready.
You get stuck.
Great to be back on here, gents. Really good to speak to you all, as always. Proper real legends, and catch you all soon, boys. And it's going to be a rocky road again next season, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly. And mate, what I'll do is I'll hit you up and we'll get you on a bit more, obviously, because through the summer I'm just going to be doing probably 1 or 2 shows a week. Get a few guys on and have a chat.
Always,
lovely. Man. Cheers, Jez. Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Good to see you, boys. Good to see you,
Thank
Darren.
you, Jez.
Static, Warren.
Take care, sir.
Take care, all boys. Take care.
Take care.
Take care, sir. Thank you.
Take care, buddy.
Just obviously, if you're new around here, please do hit the subscribe button and like if you don't mind. And there was a comment there just saying, "Is this for Arsenal fans?" Yeah, it is. Like, look, I don't mind. I don't want even anyone to be ever muted from the chat or anything like that because I respect everyone's opinion. Honestly, do just be respectful. That's all I say. Like, you know what I mean? Everyone has the right to have an opinion, and it's an Arsenal fan channel. It's just be respectful to each other. That's all I'm saying. Get your point across. And as I always say, if you want to come on the channel, you're absolutely even let's say I'll be having another probably towards the end of the week or something like that. I'll be getting a few fans on as well. And like that, if you're interested in coming on, DM me on Twitter and on my Instagram. It's just Delboy Gunner. So just check it up. Follow me. I'll follow you back and DM me and I'll send you on the link. If you don't want to show your face, you don't have to. All I just ask for, as it says, is just be respectful. So please do subscribe if you're new around here and hit the like button. Just wanted to go back on what Darren is saying there, just in relation to the holiday mid-season and stuff like this, because it's something that I'm always talking about to my mates. I'm like going, why the fuck are they going to Dubai in 40 degrees heat and it's January or whenever it is in England? We all know it's freezing fucking cold. So you're going from cold to hot, and then you're coming back to cold again. Not only will your body get the flu or colds or get sick like that, that's a human being. Guess what? Arsenal players are still human. They can get this sickness. Why are they going to Dubai? Why are they going to wherever they're fucking going to these hot weathers? Why not go to Blackpool? Go there. You'll get a donkey fucking ride on the beach. All means, yeah, you can fucking run with the donkey. It's training. You know what I mean? Why are we going there? I don't
mate,
get it.
Those players would break the poor animal. Have some pity, mate.
Break the donkey's back, destroy the donkey's back, But Warren, I know Darren's opinion. I want to hear your opinion on that, mate. Why are we doing this, and why does it continue? It's been 2 or 3 seasons we've done this.
What, going to Dubai?
Yeah.
Mate, God knows. It might be because they're trying to boost the image of the club or boost the profile of the club in the Middle East. I think that's probably got something to do with it. Laying the groundwork for a World Super League, maybe. Everyone, I'm sure that a few of you have heard my thoughts about that, and I don't think it's that far away, given what we've heard about Stanley Kroenke wanting to take games to America, and Barcelona already going there, and Real Madrid already going there. I'm really concerned about this, I have to say. I'm more concerned about this and what he's up to than I am about the manager, because he's not holding the manager to account. He, as Jez said earlier, and I've said this numerous times, right? This guy, when he bought the club, he turned around and he said, I did not buy this club to win trophies. So my question to him would be then, why did you buy it? What was the reason? Because this is a football club. It's a organisation that is based on sport. So therefore, it's about being competitive and winning. So why? I really don't understand what his motivation is until I sat and thought about this the other day, and I think I know why. And this is going to sound a massive conspiracy theory, and I know that I'm into conspiracy theories and paranormal and all the rest of it. I know, I get it. But if you sit and think about it and you deep it, right? Why the hell did Arsenal, when they had the opportunity to appoint Carlo Ancelotti, go and appoint Mikel Arteta, who had nothing on his CV? Carlo Ancelotti was by far and away one of the most successful managers in the history of the game. And yet we overlooked him for someone who's got nothing on his CV. No experience, no nothing, right? Hold that for 1 minute and remember what Jurgen Klopp, this thing with Jurgen Klopp saying about how he was leaving Liverpool because he was tired. I'm sorry, I don't believe that for 5 minutes. There are a lot of Liverpool fans out there, and Del Boy, you know one of them quite well, who believe that he was forced out, that Jurgen Klopp was forced out. And I believe that one of the things that contributed to him going was the fact that these clubs want to uproot their clubs and take them to America. In the beginning, it'll be 2 or 3 games, and they're talking about competitive games, moving over to the United States where they can make more revenue, right? So when you think about that, for me, it's a masterclass, because the Kroenkes knew that if they appointed a manager with wealth of experience and knowledge of the game, they would not accept this. So they wanted to bring someone in who had no experience, no knowledge, who they would be easy for them to control, and he's more likely to go along with their plans, right? So this is what I think it's all about. And I think the long-term objective for this club is to move it lock, stock and barrel over to the United States in the long term. And when I'm talking about long term, I'm talking about 20, 30 years, right? Because in America, their sports franchises move around the country all the time. It happened with the Rams. They were called the Los Angeles Rams when I was a teenager. They then moved, and I think they were called the St. Louis Rams, and now they're back in LA again. So it happens all the time. And they're probably thinking, well, why can't we do this with this football club? And I'm convinced, and I've spoken to Darren about this at length, and I sent him, the poor guy, I sent him this rambling voicemail message about it, and I was losing the plot about it. About 15 minutes long it was, poor Darren. And I'm convinced that in between 20, 30 years' time, if not sooner, this club will not exist anymore. And there'll be a big for sale sign up outside the Emirates Stadium, and the club will then be known as LA Cannons or something like that. And I think this is why they're going to Dubai. It's got nothing to do with the warm weather training, because it don't make any sense. Why would you go out of a cold environment to a hot one and then come back into a cold one again? You're going to pick up muscle injuries by doing that. Players are going to get the flu and colds by doing that. It just does not make any sense. Going out there to like boost the profile of the club does make sense, because then they can like get these fans in these countries all excited about the club, and they can then boost their profile and get these fans buying into the club and the merchandise and all the rest of it. Mate, I'm telling you, this is a massive PR and marketing exercise so that they can pull this off. I'm convinced of it, because they want I reckon they want a World Super League. So it'll be teams playing in this league from South America, from Europe, Asia, from every continent underneath the planet, on the planet. And that's what I think it is. That's a long-term objective. And I know it sounds mad and it sounds crazy, but just think about why they appointed Arteta. Why would you, if you wanted success on the pitch, why would you appoint someone with absolutely no experience as opposed to someone who's won everything in the game and has got an incredible CV? It just don't add up. But
No,
that's it.
I think you're spot on.
Facts.
What you're saying is a lot of credence to, because let's be honest, only sort of 18 months ago, I think it was, we had all that fear about the Super League, and it only got blocked because the Houses of Commons involved, and the Prime Minister he said that ain't happening. So it was over. In there, they're not giving up. They had their knuckles wrapped still, and they'll be working in the background to the beautiful nature of what we've got now in these 3 other leagues, and we've got non-league, which is fantastic as well. We've got the Scottish leagues as well, and I honestly believe with what's happening in the world anyway with globalisation. Now, if you go and wave your national flag around somewhere, all of a sudden that's not right, and you've not got no right to do that. I actually think that there's a lot of credence to what you're saying there, Warren. I do believe that that's what their motive is. I went to the game, not the last one I went, Luton at home. There was another one I went to. It was a midweek game, and I was just walking after the game, and I looked to my left, and at the side of the stadium there was this big thing with "always forward" on it as like the motto. And I'm like, always forward? That's never been Arsenal's motto. And of course they changed the badge. That's one of the first things they did when they got power on the board. The old crest and the Victoria Concordia crescent went, and along comes this horrible plain wrong way round cannon that just looks so boring. The old badge looks fantastic. It's got all the bits on it and the design and that and the logo and everything. This just looks like it's just plain horrible. And no doubt they all had a boardroom decision, like an owners, like all these people are like. I've got a bit of a establishment and people like that. These sort of people don't sit very well. They're not all bad, but I have to be very sceptical of them. And I can picture they probably sat there and gone, "Oh, look at this old and worn out. It's too complicated. It's Latin, motto on it, and it's got all the other bits. Oh, let's just buy that." So when somebody looks at it and they're buying a bit of merch for a tracksuit or a pair of trousers, it stands out better. I can picture it now. I can picture one of their moguls looking at it going, "Oh, that ain't going to sell many tracksuits, is it? We need to change that."
100%, mate. Absolutely. Please do like and subscribe if you don't mind. Really do appreciate I want to just thank everyone on the panel, everyone in the chat. Really do appreciate it. I was given orders tonight. Me missus is on a course, okay, and her course finishes at 9:30. And there was one thing she told me that better be fucking done before she gets home and it's have the boys in bed. So one of them is after coming in here in the room. He's after sitting beside me. Say hello, Jake. So
evening, son.
I have to get this young fella into bed, or else it'll be Del Boy out.
Yeah.
But no, I really do appreciate everyone, and I'm sorry I can't shout out your channels and stuff like that. But if you want to drop it into the chat, please do, because we'll people will see it on replay. But thanks a million to everyone for dropping in. Manny, Warren, Darren, Static, Jez, Luca, everyone in the chat, absolute legends. And as I says before, I'll be probably doing a stream probably later on this week. And please do keep an eye out for me transfer dailies. I hope you like it. It's just my sort of thought on shite that you see in the media that is just garbage. And I'm just cutting it all down and putting it into a little video. I hope you do like it. But until probably the weekend, or probably even before the weekend, I'll see you all soon. We'll get another few people on. And as it says, DM me. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. All sorts of shit like that. But yeah, I better go. This fella's gotta kill me here.
I thought that was the can of Guinness getting sprung, Dale Paul.
Yeah. Well, that's when he's in bed. It will be. Yeah.
Nice one, Dale panel. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Del Boy.
I'll touch her out.
Cheers, Del.
I'll touch her out.
Static. All right.